You know the vibes. A special edition. Hoop Genius podcast coming to you live on a Friday. You know the vibes. Listen, we're going
special edition.
Extra extended edition. So if you can't listen to the whole thing now, you got the rest of the weekend to finish it off because we thought there's too much to talk about. We can't just go for a half hour today. We got to bring you the special extended edition because we're going to be breaking down live and direct the All-Star reserves. Who made it? Who got snubbed? Who needs to be there? And then we're going to be answering your questions. Before we get to the All-Star reserves, BJ, you were taking the questions from the fans, and I just have to give a special shout out to one of the fans. I have to give a very special shout out to a Missy B from Chicago, Illinois, who tweeted in.
Missy Elliott. I was about to say,
no.
Missy Elliott.
But
it's
I was about to break out.
I was about to break out.
Hey man, listen, Missy Elliott's a legend. I'm waiting for Mary J. Blige at the Super Bowl on the weekend too. But listen,
Auntie Mary. That's what we call her in the States. Auntie Mary.
Oh, we call her Auntie Monet. If you guys watch Power, you understand. But Missy B has tweeted in, and she says, new listener. She's a new listener to the show. Missy, welcome to all the new listeners. But she says, just appreciating on how BJ Armstrong is aging like the finest of wines. Met him when I was 11 years old at the height of the Bulls dynasty. My crush from childhood is expanding to adulthood with a heart eyes emoji. And then she says, you know the vibes. So shout out to Missy B. And shout out to Missy. Shout out to BJ Armstrong. Swerving the hands of time with that hairline still being strong. I need to take some tips.
Oh, man. Come on, man. Now you making me feel bad.
Hey, man, listen. The kid, BJ Armstrong, looking young as ever. But we're going to dive straight into the All-Star reserves. Now, we broke down the All-Star teams for you last week. If you missed that episode, I don't know what you've been doing. You need to be rocking with us every day of the week. We're here live and direct. But the reserves for the Eastern Conference, I'll go through them real quick, then we'll react. Okay. James Harden, Jason Tatum, Zach LaVine, Fred VanVleet, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, and Darius Garland. Over in the West, Luka Doncic, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Draymond Green, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. Now, BJ, out of all the names I just read off, which name were you hoping to hear that you did not hear?
Well, I'm going to say this. Congratulations to all.
Big up.
Well deserved. Okay, big up. You know what I mean? Congratulations to all. I'm a little surprised with one name in particular in the Eastern Conference, just because of the time that's been missed this year, which has been Jimmy Butler.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton.
I think that championship ring gave him a little bonus into that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Placement.
I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised with Jimmy Butler. I don't know. As I'm talking here, you can tell me how many games he's missed. He's missed a substantial amount of time. Now, Jimmy Butler is without question an all-star player, but I'm really surprised that he was named an all-star considering how much time he has missed this year. Already.
He's played 33 games.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with that one. I was a little surprised. Middleton, all right. I mean, he's all-star.
I'm gonna say it. BJ's too nice to say it. There's no damn way I want to watch an all-star game with Chris Middleton instead of LaMelo Ball. Give me the LaMelo Ball highlights every day of the week over Chris Middleton. I don't think the Bucks have been as good as they were before. He's missed a lot of time. He ain't as exciting as LaMelo Ball. Give me LaMelo Ball all day. I'll say it with my chest right now.
Well, we can say that, but I don't think that's the case. And we can have another discussion. But we got a lot to get to today. I was surprised with the Jimmy Butler. I really was, just because of the time that's missed. But I'm really happy, since they are in first place, that they have at least one all-star there. Yeah. Bam's missed a lot of time. Tyler Hero has been great, but he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, I was going to say there's some debate about Hero versus Butler, who should be representing the Miami Heat.
I'm just saying, no doubt, I want to say this. No doubt Jimmy Butler is an elite player, but he's missed a substantial amount of time this year.
Yeah. But I think when he has played, he's been great, though.
Oh, that's what he always is great. That's what I'm saying. He's always great when he's played. But, okay, great. So be it. I was a little shocked. But I want to pivot real quickly. My man, Fred, bet on yourself.
Love. That's love.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy for everyone on this list because it's such an honor for these guys to be named all-stars and be elite in what they do. But I'm really happy for Fred. I mean, Fred is, he's like I feel like he's representing the everyday guy. He's like, when you say everyday people, we all can relate to Fred, right? We can all. So congratulations to him and his family, to the Raptors, we the North, champion. And that's a terrific, terrific honor for him. Zach LaVine, hey, he's been great. Your guy, Jason Tatum, he could score with the best. James Harden.
That's another question. That's another questionable one, though. This is the guy that are you an all-star if you score 4 points in a loss against the Sacramento Kings?
Name me a player that's on this list right here that hasn't been there. Everybody scored 4 points at some point.
Against the Sacramento Kings, though. Sorry, Jack. Against the Sacramento Kings, though. Maybe against anyone else.
I think you could say that because we can say that now, but
it's just funny to say.
You're in the NBA. Exactly.
Let me get these jokes off, PJ. Let me get these jokes off.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to talk about
I got a sense of humor.
We got to talk about the big name, though. The big name, the big man, the big throw, Jarrett Allen. He 100%, undoubtedly, undismistakeably should have been on that list.
Look, everyone can't be on the list. I love the big fella. I love the big fella. I love the fro, but you know what? Darius Garland
representing
should be on the list this year.
He is.
Darius Garland.
Well done.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't put everybody on the list.
Okay.
Darius Garland is on the list, and congratulations to him, first-time All-Star. So I don't have a problem with this list.
Okay, should I tell you one interesting part for me?
Okay, go ahead.
Super happy that Jason Tatum's on the list. He's actually going to be replacing Kevin Durant in the starting lineup because Kevin Durant's out with injury. If he can't play in that game, Tatum is next up in the votes. But it really surprises me that Tatum made it in ahead of Brown, given that Tatum had the worst shooting and scoring stretch of his entire career for the majority of this season. And Jaylen Brown has had some fantastic games. Now, I know, Tatum is the signature athlete and he's got the Duke behind him and everything like that. But it was very surprising to me. If you're looking from a pure basketball standpoint, there is a case to be made that Jaylen Brown could be in that team as well. Domantas Sabonis.
He may very well be on the team when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Domantas Sabonis was hoping to get in, but the Pacers record is too terrible for him to make it.
Right.
I would have rather have had Drew Holiday than Chris Middleton from watching the Bucks this year. I would have rather have had Drew Holiday. And
you know what? Chris Middleton was fantastic in the playoff run last year.
Yep.
Chris Middleton was fantastic.
Yep.
His body of work, I don't have a problem with.
So are we voting from last All-Star to
I'm
now?
Voting for your I'm voting for your body of work of what you've done.
Okay, but from this season though.
This season, I'm still picking the Milwaukee Bucks this season.
Okay.
To come out of the Eastern Conference. I haven't wavered. Now, and I started,
Before we go to the West, one more name that I would have loved to have seen there, who's had a huge improvement in the category for most improved this season, Miles Bridges. That would have been fun. But over in the West.
Wait a minute. Now say what he did last night against your Milwaukee Bucks.
My Milwaukee Bucks?
Against your Boston Celtics. I'm sorry.
Come on, man. We can't be getting the green.
No. Come on.
We can't be getting the green
saying one guy.
Jerseys
you can't
confused.
be saying James Harden. Okay, James Harden had 4 points. What did Miles Bridges do last night? Because you threw that out there.
Yep, he had 6. He had 6 on less shots and less minutes. And bear in mind, he was going up against the best franchise in the history of sports.
Okay,
the Sacramento
this is what I'm saying.
Let's talk about the West. Let's talk about the West.
And moving right along.
We're not talking about performances against the Boston Celtics. We're happy to change it, and we're going to keep it moving. We're going to talk about the Western Conference, PJ.
You are one funny guy.
Hey, man.
You got jokes today.
You know the vibes. But anyway, the big name that everyone was talking about was, first of all, they had Draymond Green on the broadcast on TNT. Fantastic. I love when they bring Draymond on the broadcast. And what he said was, I'm just happy that Rudy Gobert made it because this time he won't be crying on national TV. You remember that when he missed the All-Star game and he broke down his tears? I just thought it was interesting that Draymond brought that up on TV because now I can't wait for the next Warriors versus Jazz game because I know things are going to get heated when Draymond's back from his injury, although it looks like he's going to have to surgery on his back. But the big name that everyone was talking about when these reserves were announced and they were saying has been snubbed is DeJounte Murray. He's averaging 19.6 points a game, 8.5 rebounds per game, which is second amongst guards, 9.1 assists, which is fourth in the NBA, and he has 10 triple-doubles so far this season, which is a San Antonio Spurs record. DeJounte Murray and Luka Doncic are the only players in the league averaging 18, 8, and 8 this season. They're saying he's snubbed. Obviously, the San Antonio Spurs record isn't that good, but I thought the Spurs record would be a little bit worse than it actually is. You know, they're two.
Look, I can't argue with that.
Playing.
You know, I can't argue with anybody. Congratulations to the West.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, congratulations to the West. Now, like I said in the East, I was surprised with one name, right? Jimmy Butler. I was just surprised just because of time missed. When healthy, Donovan Mitchell is an all-star, but he's missed a substantial amount of time due to protocol.
Should we have a quota for games played then to make the All-Star?
Well,
team?
I don't think it's it's like, I think, what are we voting for then?
Because Paul George should be an All-Star because he was fantastic until he got injured, but he's just not played enough games.
He's just not. I'm not saying I don't know, but when I see players who are missing games, and it's Donovan, if I remember correctly, he's missing games now because of
he cleared concussion protocols today.
Okay,
he's going to be back.
That's what I say. I would listen. Donovan Mitchell and Jimmy Butler, they're elite at what they do. I was just surprised on the first go around because of the time that's been missed that they were named. You can't argue their body of work. I think body of work means something.
Yeah.
It always has, and it should. It should. So in saying that one, okay, I don't have a problem with any of these guys. Congratulations to both of the sons. Congratulations to, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns. He's a first-time All-Star. Is this first-time All-Star for him?
Carl's been an All-Star before.
He's been All-Star? Okay.
Yeah. Remember he was there the year when they were laughing at Fergie singing the national anthem. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I do.
Okay, so I would tell you this. One thing that's interesting to me. Draymond Green got a lot of love for being the All-Star team this year because he's been the best defender on the best defense in the NBA, and rightly so. He should be in. I want to know why Mikhail Bridges doesn't get that same amount of love because he's the best defender on the Phoenix Suns. He defends every position. No. You got to let me land with this. He defends every position. And, when you talk about the record of the team, they're 40-9? They've got an insanely good record. Remember the year where they had 4 Atlanta Hawks players in the All-Star team because of how good their record was? And their record wasn't even as good as this. So my question is, Draymond's not going to play in the game because he's injured. LeBron might not play in the game. So let's say those two are off the table. That opens up 2 spots to be replaced. Which 2 guys do you want to come in to replace those 2? And they can't be guards because they're front court players. Which 2 forwards or bigs in the West would you like to see replacing Draymond and LeBron? There's a few names. There's Bridges. There's Jaren Jackson Jr. There's Anthony Edwards. Who would you like to see come in if you can give me 2 names?
I think Bridges, Miles Bridges should be up there. Jaylen Brown, I think, should be up there.
Oh, from the East.
Yeah. I think these guys should be up there. I'm just saying, I think the kid Ant-Man should be up there.
Facts.
Okay? I think he should be up there. If you're just saying performance, I'm just looking at the performance of who's performed. Again, Miles Bridges and Draymond Green's body of work. I think Miles Bridges has put together a very, very nice first half of the season.
Yep.
But when you talk about body of work, now, if Miles Bridges...
Are we talking about Mikhail Bridges from Phoenix or Miles Bridges from Charlotte?
Miles Bridges, I'm talking Miles Bridges from the Charlotte.
Hornets. Okay.
If Miles Bridges performs the second half of the season and the first half of next season and doesn't make the All-Star team, I will be the first one now jumping up and down.
Okay.
Mikhail Bridges, I think, should get some consideration this year because he is a star role player in his position. And you can see he's beginning to, suddenly now, I know he's a second, third, fourth option now, but you can see he's beginning to really step up to the plate. So I like what he's doing. I'm talking about Mikhail Bridges now for the Phoenix Suns.
We did a poll for the fans on Twitter so far. Hundreds of you have voted. And they're saying the biggest snub in the Western Conference was Anthony Edwards. And the biggest snub in the Eastern Conference by a large margin is LaMelo Ball. That's what the fans think. And BJ, do you know what else the fans think?
What's that?
You know what else the fans are saying? They've been sending their questions into us this week. We are going to run through. But here's what I got to say before we do this. There are so many questions. We are going to try and get through as many as possible. Therefore,
let's do it.
We're going to have to give short, snappy answers. And then next week, the more interesting ones, we can dive into those topics deeper. But today, we just got to go for the quick 1-line, 2-line max answers. First question. And there's no preference, by the way. I'm reading these in the order that they've come up underneath the tweet, okay? BJ, you ready for question number 1? It comes in from Andy Williams, big friend of the show. He says, does every successful team need a professional disruptor, someone to put the other team off their game? We're thinking the Dennis Rodmans, the Draymond Greens, the Gary Paytons of the world. Does every successful team need one of them? Can you win without one?
Man, great question. I didn't expect that. I think every team needs to have someone that has that personality to say the following. And I think we're saying the same thing when you say disruptor. Can you affect the game without scoring?
Yep.
I think that's absolutely necessary to be to have a championship caliber team because everyone can't score. And at some point, Mo, you hear me say it all the time. You have to get a stop if you're going to win a championship. So the answer is yes. I think we're saying the same thing. Great question, though.
Yeah, what a way to start. Listen, the HG fam, the fans of this show, their basketball IQ and knowledge runs deep.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
They're taking the knowledge every day from us. And they're great fans of the NBA. So shout out to Andy Williams. And definitely, if you look at the impact of PJ Tucker last year, I don't think you can dispute that. Question number 2 comes from my good friend Ellis Marsh. And he says, knowing what you know now, if you were the Pelicans in 2019, would you still draft Zion over Ja Morant? I need a yes or a no.
Yes. You
would still draft Zion.
Yes.
That's the money play. Zion coming out of college. If you knew Ja Morant was going to be great, but you would still take Zion because there was no way of knowing the injuries.
I love to say why, but yes. The short answer is yes.
We'll dive into it. It's too early to judge Zion.
You want me to dive into it or you want me to leave?
No, we're going to keep moving.
Okay, yes.
It's too early to judge Zion, in my opinion. Next question comes in from Sean O'Sullivan, my boy Sully. He wants to know if you could add one thing to All-Star Weekend, what would it be?
A one-on-one challenge.
Okay, and BJ, we've been through this before. Give me one name who's winning the one-on-one challenge.
Oh, when healthy. Ooh. I'm just going to say Giannis.
I like it.
But I love to see Giannis and KD, though. I want to see Giannis versus KD in a one-on-one challenge.
I'll tell you what. I love to see Joel Embiid.
I love to see anybody. I would love to see the top 10 players for $10 million one-on-one challenge in the NBA.
If I was
everybody
rich,
showing up,
I would pay for that, but I'm not. So please subscribe. Anyway, if I was adding in, BJ's laughing because he's wealthy. I'm not, so let him laugh.
I'm not wealthy.
He says,
but I would love to see. I would love to see a one-on-one challenge. Though.
Do you know what I'd love to see? I suggested it on Heat Check. I want to see a dunk contest, but with a defender trying to block the shot, so it becomes the posterizing contest. Okay, the next question. I told you the basketball knowledge runs deep, okay? My boy, Jamie McFurnace wants to know thoughts on Isaiah Jackson. Does he have a future in this league? He's been balling out for the Indiana Pacers, and I think he definitely does have a future. The other day when Sabonis was out with an injury, he stepped into the starting lineup. He put up, 26 and 10 or something crazy?
Right.
Both ends of the floor, high energy.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, he can run the floor up and down.
Yes.
Here's one from our good friend Jack. He says, where do you think NBA front offices hear about trades and player movement rumors? Do you reckon they're sat on Twitter like the rest of us? Now, I can't answer this. BJ, you're going to have to answer this. Are you in your, in your role? Do you ever see things on Twitter and think, damn, I didn't know that? Damn, what's going on here? Their GM's refreshing, waiting for Adrian Wojnarowski to tweet something.
Who said this, Jack? Who said this, Jack?
This was
Is
Jack.
that our good friend, Jack? Is that our good friend, Jack?
Sacramento Kings #1 fan.
Okay, here's the truth. I'm gonna pull the curtains back a little bit.
Quick though, we gotta keep moving.
Yeah, I know, but I want to make sure that I get this one. Okay,
all right.
I think there are a lot. I'm not going to even give it a percentage. I think there are a lot of executives who get their information on social media. I really do.
I'll do you one better. I know there are executives and people around this league who have burner accounts to scroll the timeline. But that's all we're going to say on that. That's all we're going to say on that.
That's all I'm saying. And then I want to say this, but I think the top executives, I think they make the news.
Yeah, facts.
I think they use social media to influence the decision of others.
Yeah.
Okay. But I do think there are a lot of people.
Yeah.
They have, because I'm gonna tell you something really funny. Mo. When you go to all of the events where all of the executives are at, and I'm just telling you what I've observed. I'm not giving out names or calling anyone out. But next time, Mo, you and I go to Summer League together, I just want you to watch when there's an alert, a Woj alert,
or everyone.
Somebody alert. Everyone looks at their phone at the exact same time. And me and my friends, it's the funniest thing because you're like, really? Like, are you really? Like, you?
Okay.
Hey, all right.
Man,
sorry.
Man, listen, I love it. We need to have unlimited time on this show to dive into everything, but we got to keep it moving. Andrew Williams wants to know, would the Sixers trading Simmons in exchange for DeJounte Murray be realistic, and who would be getting the better deal? In my mind, there's no doubt the Sixers would be getting a better deal if they could acquire DeJounte Murray. We just spoke about him earlier on the show in the All-Star snubs. BJ, who do you think wins that trade? Simmons for DeJounte?
Well, I like DeJounte Murray, but I think the Sixers would be getting the better of that trade because DeJounte Murray, you're trying to find fits with Ben Simmons, right? And this kid, Maxey, is averaging 16, 17, 18 points a game right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better you can do than that playing with a big like Joel Embiid. So I think that would be a good trade for the San Antonio Spurs.
Ian Turner wants to know, do the Bucks need to bring in another center before the trade deadline if they want to repeat? Big teams are causing them problems. If Brooks was returning imminently, I'd say no, but no relapse. Well, I'd say yes, but who are they going to bring in? There's no one really left out there. I looked at their G League roster. They don't have a player above 7 foot on that roster.
Yeah, I think they're waiting on a player to
be bought out,
seep through the cracks. Yeah, I think they're waiting. I think what they're waiting for is the best available big before they make their run. Yeah, that's what I think.
I got to cut you off because the next question is spicy. BJ.
Okay. Ooh.
If they had a game with Team USA versus Team World, who would be the starting 5 for each team and who gets the win? We might have to circle back to that for a full episode next week,
Okay, I'm just thinking off the top.
That's a big one.
Jokic,
but off the top,
you get Jokic, Luka Doncic,
Embiid,
Giannis, Embiid.
How are you dealing with Twin Towers, Embiid and Jokic?
I think Team U. I don't. So then you got KD, LeBron, Steph,
Harden, whoever you want.
Kyrie. I think Team World would win. I think Team World would win. I think Team World would win. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they would.
100% agree. 100%.
And I don't even care which rules. You can play FIBA rules. I think they clearly win.
Oh, if FIBA rules, we'll get Marc Gasol out of retirement and we'll get Pau Gasol out of retirement. They'll come and do work.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I think if you play in the NBA, I still think they win. So I think World would win this one.
Okay.
Wow. I can't believe I said that.
Yeah. The Spurs UK.
Who was that again?
That was from Piers McGinley. No. McGlinchey. Sorry, I've butchered your name. Piers McGlinchey. Please tweet me, tell me how to pronounce it because I've done a horrible job.
Shout out, man. That was a great question.
Amazing question. The Spurs UK fan club want to know what are the best realistic possible trades for the San Antonio Spurs that they could get for DeJounte Murray in the offseason. Now, here's one thing I don't understand. DeJounte Murray is an excellent young basketball player. Why is everyone obsessed with trading him? I don't get it.
Yeah, I
keep
think,
him.
Yeah,
that's my best trade.
Think,
keep him.
You know, one of the things you don't want to get in the habit of doing is developing young players for someone else. They've done a very nice job. They brought him along. He is, without question, he continues on this trajectory here. He's going to be an all-star one day, sooner rather than later. So I think their best pivot or their best focus should be is continuing to add young pieces in the draft. All right. The worst place to be is in the middle of the pack. So I think either be really good or be really bad. All right. Not by choice to be bad, but if you can be bad, that allows you to get where the top young players would be. And that's more times than not in the lottery. And that's the whole idea with tanking. Right. And I'm not advocating tanking, but because I see DeJounte Murray and these guys getting good, I see them playing well, but I think with another draft or two, they could be really, really good and it could be sustained. It's sustainable then if they can continue to add young pieces to a young player like that, because he's playing at an all-star level or all-star caliber, we should say.
Yes, sir. Ben Pons says, who, if possible, would you trade for the likes of Al Horford at the Celtics? / who would you like to see come in? Seeing as the roster is really starting to come through finally. I would like to see the Celtics trade for anyone who can shoot the ball at a reasonable percentage from behind the three-point arc. That's what they need. That's what they need to go and get. Al Horford's having a horrible shooting year. Grant Williams is doing a fantastic job. I was getting onto him at the start of the year. He's done a fantastic job. The Celtics need more shooters. Marcus Smart's been playing the point guard position brilliantly over the last few games. Tatum and Brown are finding their rhythm together. Rob Williams is absolutely destroying everyone on the defensive end. Need some shooters. I think it's time to move on from Uncle Al.
Well, you know, we're just looking at the stats. And truth be told, Al is providing them the stability necessary. You know, there's a thing where you have to have chemistry. When you have two dominant scorers like Tatum and Brown, there aren't a lot of shots to go around. Okay. So whoever they get there, they can talk about Al. Al does all of the little things that are appreciated from his teammates and then more importantly to the coaches, and he plays a winning brand of basketball. It may not show up in the stat sheets, but Al Horford plays a winning style and a winning brand of basketball.
I agree.
He's done that his entire career. Now,
I agree.
If you're asking me real quick, I just want to say this real quick.
Okay.
I think they should target a permanent solution to the starting point guard position.
Okay.
Because they don't play a brand of basketball that, to me, that their point guards puts pressure on the defense.
Okay. I'm going to continue to trust Marcus Smart. When you're saying
I'm not mad at Marcus. I
not
love
many
Marcus
shots
Smart.
to go around. You got to make sure you make those shots when they come around. But Burns Hoops says, what can the Bulls do to sort out their point of attack defensive issues? The points in the paint against the Bulls are getting really out of hand. Thanks, Mo. Keep it up. One love. Well, one love to you, my brother. I don't think the Bulls need to do anything, in my opinion. They just need Caruso and Lonzo Ball to get healthy. They're going to both be back in 6 to 8 weeks, I believe. So if you could just hold down the fort until the playoffs, I wouldn't be too worried. Do you think the same, BJ, or do you think they need to make a move?
Well, in watching teams, you know, I don't watch every game of the Bulls, but in watching the teams, I will say this. It's clear to me that the other teams are going to have a plan of attack against Vucevic.
Yep.
For the Bulls. That's obvious. And I don't care if Lonzo Ball is there. I don't care if Alex Caruso is there. They're going to have to address what they're going to do at the 5 position, because it's clear to me that teams are going to utilize him in every screen role. And he's not a shot blocker. He's not a rim protector, and he doesn't like take charges. So I don't know what the game plan is going to be. I think Caruso and them will fill the hole up a little bit. They're good. But when you're getting screened against top-notch players every single time,
and he can only play the drop. He can only play the
drop. And I think that's going to be a problem that the Bulls are going to have to figure out. That's why I think they will consider Millsap. I think they will consider a shot blocker or rim protector moving forward, because I don't think just getting those two guys back are going to address all of the problems they have on the defensive end.
And I'll tell you this, my biggest criticism of Nikola Vucevic is not on the defensive end, BJ. My biggest criticism of Nikola Vucevic is the vibes. He refuses to adopt the nickname Vucci Mane, which would undoubtedly be the greatest nickname in NBA history. Vucci Mane. I don't know why you don't want to rock with it. He said he doesn't like it.
Not him. That doesn't. It doesn't.
It makes it funnier.
It doesn't fit.
It makes it so much funnier.
Yes, because he has no idea. When it's not authentic, Mo. Here's the thing: when the camera's on or the camera's off, ladies and gentlemen, Mo is like this.
You know the damn vibes.
That's what I'm saying. Now, if you were like this only when the camera came on, I'd be like, okay, who is this guy? That's what makes it funny. You're like this when the camera is on. You're like this when the camera is off. Vucci Mane, that's not who. No, you'd be like, that's not me, guys. That's not him. That's not him. Well, okay, let's be authentic. So shout out to Vooch for not accepting that name.
Okay, the next question comes in from, well, they don't have a username. They have at IWBAWC. So I don't know what your name is, but he seems to be a Celtics fan from his Twitter profile. And he asks, well, he says, in all honesty, I believe the Chicago Bulls are the modern day equivalent of the 2015 Atlanta Hawks. They're a lot of all-stars, but absolutely no playoff quality. If the Celtics were so lucky as to match up with them in the first round, I'd proudly declare Celtics in 5. Thoughts, Mo? I don't agree with this comparison because DeMar DeRozan right now, maybe not previously in his career when he was in Toronto, but DeMar DeRozan right now is a killer in the clutch. And that's something those Atlanta Hawks didn't have. A guy that you can give the ball to and everybody else get out of the way. They had Paul Millsap, Al Horford, Jeff Teague, and Kyle Korver, DeMar Carroll. They did not have a bucket like DeMar DeRozan or even Zach LaVine that you could give the ball
to. Joe Johnson was on that team, right?
No, that was after Joe Johnson left. He was in Brooklyn.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
You said you couldn't get a bucket with Joe Johnson. Now. That's
I would never disrespect ISO Joe.
That's what I'm saying.
You should know better. That's a Boston Celtics legend. Okay.
All right.
It's a Boston Celtics legend. But no, I don't agree with that comparison. And I wouldn't say Celtics in 5 if they played the Bulls in the playoffs today. I have watched the Celtics throw away enough leads this season to be comfortable to say anyone Boston plays is going 7 games.
That would be a really nice series, though.
Do you know my favorite playoff series? Do you know my favorite playoff series of all time?
Bulls Celtics.
But what year?
Derrick Rose, Rondo, them.
That first round with the triple overtime, then double overtime.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I was at all those games. That's pretty good.
I was sneaking to the family computer in the middle of the night to watch it on 0 megabyte internet. It was like watching pixels throw a ball around.
It was
different.
That was a great level of basketball. That was fun. A lot of good players out there on the floor.
Shout out to Ben Gordon. Who you got winning this if they were to match up this year, and in how many games? If you had to call it right now.
All right. So all the Bulls fans are going to be upset. But I think the Celtics will win. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of Robert Williams.
I like this answer.
No, seriously. It is like
the Time Lord.
DeMar DeRozan's been unbelievable. Zach LaVine, okay, those guys are going to get their 25-30. Okay. But Jaylen Brown's going to get his 25 or 30. And the other guy's going to get his 25 or 30.
Or 50.
Okay. So then I started looking at the guard. Okay, so Alex Caruso, as tough as he is, Alex Caruso is not going to be tougher than Marcus Smart. Okay?
Almost found my drink.
I don't care. Alex Caruso is not going to out-tough Marcus Smart. Now, and I like Caruso's Caruso.
I love Alex Caruso, but
Marcus Smart,
is Marcus Smart.
You might make more shots than Marcus Smart, but no one's going to out tough Marcus Smart. Okay. So then I'm saying, well, where's the advantage? Vooch is going to shoot his three, or he's going to do his thing. But Al Horford could stay at home. Al Horford, you can stay at home. You could stay at home. And then the only advantage I see the only other advantage I see is the following. The game is going to slow down. That favors the Celtics, right? And who's going to do the best job at protecting the rim? I think the Time Lord can have one of those games.
Yep.
6-7 block shots, double digits intimidation at the rim. Because shot blocking and rim protecting is a real thing. Now, the counter to that could be 3-point shooting. And that's, that could be, I mean, but I see Robert Williams being the X factor in the series because he is the only one in the series that can play vertical basketball.
I like that.
Somebody's going to get
find out.
And he's I think it'll be a good series.
I want to give a quick shout out to the people working at Twitter because I've not planned the order of these questions. I'm literally reading them as how they've been replied to the tweet, the order. And they segue so nicely because we were just talking about who'd win a 7-game series. And the next question is from DM. His name is Murphy with the 1 in the end of I don't know, Murph 1D. Maybe he's a One Direction fan, whatever he is. He says, interested to hear BJ and your thoughts on a 7-game series between the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns. And I'm going to assume everyone's at full health.
Can we spend at least 1 minute there?
Yeah,
please? Can we spend 1 minute
I'm going to say this, assuming everyone's at full health, because without Draymond Green, I got Suns in 4 or 5. So we're going to assume everyone's in full health.
Okay, let's say everyone's full health. Everyone's full health. I think the Suns.
Wiseman in full health too.
Yeah, Wiseman, everyone. I think the Suns in 6. Suns in 6.
I'm going to say Suns in 7.
Yeah, okay. Suns.
I'm going to say.
Listen, Steph Curry and company. And I say company. You got Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. Offensively, both of those guys are very capable of having massive games on the road. This team, those guys are capable of having big games, one or both together at home to protect 3 games at home. That means they have to play one unbelievable or amazing game on the road. Very capable if you give them 4 chances. Okay, so I'm not even doubting they could win the series. But if you're asking me right now, and the reason I think they can win the series is because of one thing. One, they can play vertical basketball and they can play big. 2, they have a team that can make the most adjustments on the offensive end and the defensive end.
Strength in numbers, as the Warriors used to say.
They can play small, they can play big, they can play fast, they can play slow. They can switch, they can fight over the top. They have enough weapons to adjust to whatever's going on. On the other hand, the Warriors have to play a perfect brand of basketball, which they're very capable. Okay. I don't think they will shy away from the moment. I think if you put Draymond on, let's say they put Draymond, which to me was interesting that they did this. They put Draymond on Christmas on Chris Paul.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't need Chris Paul to score a lot of points to win.
Yeah.
So is that an advantage for the Suns or is that an advantage for the Warriors? Because I don't need Chris Paul to be contained for the Suns to play well. Now,
and whoever Draymond's guarding, you can do what they used to do to Kawhi Leonard back in the day. His assignment: go stand in the corner, take him out of defense.